In the Triad of North Carolina, where Emerald Hills roll, the Sharpe Loan Team is on a mission to achieve housing goals. With St. Patrick's Day coming, it's a time of luck and cheer. Let's seize the moment and make your dream home appear. Like a pot of gold at Rainbow's End, your perfect house awaits. You'll need a pre-approval to have better rates. In the fields of Winston-Salem, where four-leaf clovers grow, we'll guide you through the process, keeping you in the know. This March, when it's warmer and luck and magic fill the air, your home sweet home is waiting for your tender, loving care. So don't delay, reach out today and let's embark on this quest. With luck and expertise, we'll ensure you're truly blessed. Together, we'll find your treasure at Rainbow's shining end. With the Sharpe Loan Team, you'll always have a friend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Zero Dark Nerdy, the galaxy's favorite pop culture podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network, betonline.ag for all your sports betting needs, Golden Ticket Cinemas with the brand new Hollywood Ale House right here in Greensboro, North Carolina, and 19 other locations across the United States, and our good friend Sailfish Comics, 3 locations here in North Carolina, 1 in Concord, 1 in Winston-Salem, and our good friends on Stanley Road. This is your boy Brian, AKA El Nino, and today I have a very, very special guest. You've seen this guy on TikTok, but I tell you what, he is also a good friend, dear friend. We frequent his bar all the time, and we've done this once before. It was not the greatest experience, not because of him. There was a lot of stuff going on, and we'll get into that later.
Kind of crushed myself, Steve.
But Kenny Giard of TikTok fame, Instagram fame, Facebook fame, the whole TikTok fame, everything else. Boom. Kenny Giard in the building.
What's up, brother?
Man, it's so good to have you on.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to do it, man. We've been messing around, dancing around for way too long. It's just perfect timing. You said, let's do it.
We have.
I asked my wife. She said I could do it. So my kids gave me a pass, so I didn't have to put them to bed tonight, but I have to go check on them.
So the Super Bowl was yesterday.
Yes.
We're going to get into, favorite commercials, we're going to go into the halftime show, all that fun stuff. But Kenny is not just a good friend. Like, this guy has literally been working his way up from the top, doing these amazing, hysterical bartender videos. But I mean, you've been crushing it. So, one of my main questions is, what was your inspiration on doing these videos? And let's just start with that.
All right. Pandemic. The bar was shut down. We were shut down for 6 months. And so there's a whole bunch of just sitting at home and not, having anything to do. One day I'm standing. Like I'm in the bedroom. My wife is in the living room because we're just trying to avoid each other because we don't have anything else to do.
Right.
And I'm just laying on the bed, playing on my phone. And I keep hearing her in the living room and she's just laughing. And I'm, at first I don't pay any attention. 30 minutes goes by and I'm like, what are you laughing at? And she's like, TikTok. And I was like, what's a TikTok? And she tells me what it is. And I'm like, well, that's just stupid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pandemic continues and we're still shut down. Finally, I downloaded and I was like, all right. So I started making a few videos and eventually it actually, it was probably like February of 21 where I was like, I think I'm going to have a go at this. But with no expectations whatsoever. I just want to feed my ego because, I made one video that I put no effort into, but people liked. Right. And so I was like, okay, I can try this. And then it just kind of spiraled out, from there. I mean, it was slow at first and it was a roller coaster of there was 1 month where, in March of 21, I got my first video that had over 1 million views and I am on top of the world. Oh, God. And then it's just like, when you have momentum, it's great. So I posted another video and I was like, oh, I'm killing it. And then when the main momentum, when that one video kind of starts to taper off, all your other things start to taper off as well.
Right.
And it's very it's a struggle because you think that you're more important than you actually are. I'm making these videos. I'm thinking about like not going to work because I was like, well, this is just rolling in the right direction. And
you're looking at it like a streamer that's doing like a video game,
right? But
that's
also
making a shitload of money.
But a dude who's like, in his 40s and has no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't have a Twitch, I all these other like going live, the concept. I mean, I remember Periscope. You remember Periscope?
I do. Yeah.
That was like the first one, that's my understanding of going live. And so, I mean, I'm completely like disconnected there. And you're skyrocketing. And like you think that you really start to believe it. At first, I think TikTok's fake. I mean, because if you and I had the money and the knowledge, like if we could start our own social media platform, how brilliant would it be for anytime we get a new subscriber or somebody signs up and they post content, let's just give them views, give them fake views.
Right.
And because that's what I was thinking, because I'm like, why are all these people like that I don't know? Because up until this time, the only real social media that I was on, being the old guy, was Facebook.
Right.
And, so you can have like, a few hundred, a few thousand, and you don't necessarily know everybody that well, especially being bartenders, but we have some kind of connection, along the way. TikTok, you don't know anybody. I mean, it's just like it's kind of freeing in a way. So
you're putting it out there and just being like, please God,
because
somebody like this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, because I did stand up for years. And, I traveled a little bit. It was never like a regular thing, as much as I would have liked it to have been. But, for me, this was kind of like my stand up light. I could get to do my things.
Right.
And, if it was good, people liked it. Awesome. If it sucked, I just delete it, and start over. But, going back to thinking that it wasn't real, that's when I started kind of cross posting, because I wanted to see.
Yeah.
So I started posting on Instagram, because Instagram you can post directly towards reels and not to your feed or whatever.
Right.
And so you're just throwing it out there. And so when I started getting feed, actual 100,000 views from Instagram and a few million views, it's like, okay, well, maybe there's something to do this. And then I branched out to YouTube and Facebook of all places.
Right.
And Facebook is trying to they're the most aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Because they've had everything. Yeah. They had the world.
Yeah. They know they're losing a lot to these other contents.
And they know that TikTok is skyrocketing. And I mean, YouTube obviously isn't going anywhere. So they're pushing and they're really paying.
Right.
But also a lot of restrictions, because if I post a video to Facebook now, Reels.
Right.
I can't post that same video anywhere else.
I remember you telling me that. It's very, very like they're trying to make it an exclusive club.
Right. And kind of the opposite of everything, never put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Type thing. So, kind of diversify your portfolio.
Right.
I don't know what a portfolio is. Okay. Meet the parents. Oh,
no, I was going to say, we're going to get back to more of the social media stuff.
Sure.
So the big thing is we wanted to catch up on the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yep. Taylor Swift Bowl.
The Taylor Swift Bowl. So I wanted to ask you, go ahead and like flat out say, what did you think about the game and what do you think about the halftime show? Before we get to the trailers and the movies and everything else, what do you think about the game? What do you think about the halftime show?
I thought the game was awesome.
Okay.
I was. I mean, when was the last Super Bowl that went to overtime?
It was
probably the Eagles.
I mean, unfortunately it was, but it was when the Patriots came back from 28-3, and that was the last, and that was the first Super Bowl to actually go to overtime.
Oh, in Atlanta?
Yeah.
The Falcons?
Well, against the Falcons.
Against
I don't know where they played at, but yes.
Yeah. That was like a definitive moment of like Tom Brady. Like, I mean, he was already established, obviously, but then to come back from that, it was just like, stop.
So, but still, that was the first overtime before they changed all the rules.
Right.
This was now like the new one with the new rules. So minus the rules, like, we got over that. What do you think about the game in general, and what did you think about the halftime show?
I mean, like I said, the game was awesome. It wasn't a blowout by any means. I mean, it was suspenseful.
It was close.
It was close. It was really good. Being in the bar, I would say probably 85 to 90% were pulling for the 49ers.
Right.
Which made it that much better for Chiefs / Taylor Swift fans.
Yeah.
And I fed into that because I'm going to stir the pot every bit of it. I was screaming Taylor Swift at every opportunity. Plus, my 9 and 6-year-old daughters, I am a Swiftie. Not proud of it, but whatever. She's awesome.
It's time to get serious about your financial future. It's never too early, but it could be too late to get started. And that's oftentimes the hardest part, getting started. How much do I save? Where do I invest? Do I save for college or retirement? How much for each? And who do I talk to about it all? Okay, we'll keep things simple for now and help you answer the last one. We recommend you begin with a local financial advisor. And that's Jennifer Johnson of 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors. She'll sit down with you for a complimentary introductory consultation and go over all of your questions. Get started on the path to achieving your financial goals. Visit 3magnoliasfinancialadvisors.com or call 336-701-1600. Get comfortable with your financial future. 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors. Retirement, financial planning, and investments. Securities offered through Cetera Advisor Networks, LLC, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors. 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors and Cetera Advisor Networks are not affiliated. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity.
But no, so the game was awesome. The halftime show, Usher, first off, besides the fact that he got real winded and looked tired, he's 40.
The sweat was dripping off of him.
He's 45, I think.
Yeah, 45. Yeah. Yes, you are correct.
And he doesn't look it. And I'm 44, so he's, if you compare
you and I are not roller skating anywhere near.
To be fair, I have been roller skating here recently.
Oh,
and
okay.
And I have not fallen yet. I've been multiple times. My wife, so we took our daughters, and my wife and I both went. And I am not in good shape. My knees are horrible. My ankles are horrible. But I refuse to be the old dad that can't do anything. So I'm going to do it. Also, I have a background in skating. I'm just letting you know. I used to be on the skate team in Henderson.
Well, there we go.
I'm telling you, man. Nobody can shoot the duck like me, man. I'm telling you. That being said, I'm basically Usher.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
little lighter skin.
To me,
not as good moves.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, this looks like Kenny out there. Just not as smooth with the skates.
KENYGIARD.
It was so good. So, more background for you people out there that may not know Kenny, or even if you're just listening to this for the first time. We've been in the service industry for well over 20 years. Yes. And really the majority of Usher being out there. So you're talking like he's like the songs he's playing are bringing us back.
It's our jam.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, oh my goodness. I was like, hey, he was singing and he was dancing. And that was what he was known for.
Yeah.
Like dancing his ass off and singing. And he's also he's had a residency in Vegas for a minute now.
Yeah.
And that's why I really liked about the show is like it gave the Vegas aspect. It gave him still singing and dancing. And then at the end, like the roller skating thing, that's Atlanta. Yeah. That's Atlanta all day, every day.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't even paying attention. I was like, is he on roller skates?
Yep. Yeah. They did that roll bounce shit.
And I'm pretty sure he's like on my wife's list too. So I didn't really enjoy her enjoying it so much.
Big shout outs to my coworker Jay. He was like, she's wanting to go see him in his residency in Vegas. I don't think we're going to go see that anymore. And I completely understand because this guy, as soon as he took his shirt off, I'm like, what is going on right now? Did you
have surgery? Is that natural? Do you work out like that? I didn't think people could actually get muscles like that.
Exactly. Now, was it the greatest halftime show on ever? I think at this point, we are just super spoiled as adults. You know what I mean? There's never going to be a halftime show like when, to me, it was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
When Michael Jackson did his shit.
Nobody cares about his titties.
I think that was like the day after 9/11.
Right.
That was the one time as a country, everybody came together and was like, Oh my god,
it was awesome. Oh,
it was just amazing.
It really was.
And then after that, we just kind of been comparing it. Oh, it's too this, it's too that, it's too sexy, it's too provocative, it's too rock and roll. Like, you're never ever going to make everybody happy on the halftime shows.
Nah,
you're not.
You're
not. Even though Kenny and I are big football fans, me more than him, I still don't know who his actual football team is. Like, who is your team?
Whoever has the most people that come into the bar.
There you go. Hey, that's the most honest answer you can hear from any bar owner.
Yes, I mean, well, it's not fair, okay? Because I'm from North Carolina. My father is from Massachusetts, so we had the Patriots aspect of it. But I grew up in North Carolina, obviously,
right?
And so a lot of my friends were Redskin fans, Commander fans, and then we got the Panthers, and so it's kind of like you got to pull for your home team,
sure.
So I'm getting pulled in all these different directions, and I make fun of, like, in other sport, like you can't change teams,
no,
like. And I was just like, well, I like them, and I like them. I like football a lot.
Well, I say no, but I'm a Yankee fan. I love Syracuse basketball. I love Michigan football, and the Eagles are my football team. So I'm all over the place, but within reason.
So you just like to win. Got it. Okay.
Well, no. I mean, if you look at our records over here, Syracuse won national basketball championship. Eagles won Super Bowl. Yankees, that's from my dad.
You got all of them.
Yeah.
Joe Giard, which is like a great uncle of mine, played for the 1929 Yankees.
Oh, no shit.
He was a pitcher, and he was horrible. That's correct. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, but he got a ring. I think they didn't they win in 29?
I think so.
Pretty much. That's not a tough.
Yeah, back then it was just
Yankees,
a toss up.
Yankees.
All right, so I know you don't go to the movies too often,
right?
But you have two amazing daughters.
Yes, yeah.
One of which was just
Domestic terrorist.
What was the play?
She was just finished Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Or A Christmas Story.
I
can't remember which one it is. The Christmas one. Yeah. She started off in Matilda, which was last year. And now she's doing, or she's auditioning Friday for The Sound of Music.
Ah, well, best of luck to little mini Giard.
Thank you.
So in terms of these two movies for your daughters, which one of the two do you think they're more excited for? Is it going to be, and this is a battle of the fours.
Okay.
Is it going to be Kung Fu Panda 4 or Despicable Me Part 4?
Despicable Me.
Oh, all the way, huh?
100%.
All the way. Now, is that because of you as well?
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay. But I mean, it's also like I watch whatever they watch. I mean,
all right.
And I love those movies.
Oh, they're so great.
They're good. I mean, so is Kung Fu Panda. I mean, it's great. I mean, Jack Black. I mean, you can't go wrong. But it's not really their thing.
Right.
And like Despicable Me, it's like anything else. I mean, we're going to do a lot of tangents. My oldest daughter's 9. When she was about maybe 3.5, 4 years old, and she was sick, she didn't go to daycare. So, I stayed home with her.
Right.
And that day was the first time we watched Frozen. Now, this was a milestone for us because up until then, we're watching Cocomelon and Blippi or whatever those things. I mean, the things that you're just like, I cannot follow this. Right. And then Frozen comes along and you're like, oh, this has a dialogue. Yeah. Oh, if Disney's ever in a pinch and I'm around, I've got them. I've got every scene. I could. And I mean, so that was one of the first movies that I was like, oh, I love this. Because again, it was something that you could follow.
Right.
And then we watched it 4 more times that day. And
I believe.
Yeah. So, sorry. But yes, to original question, Despicable Me.
Okay.
All
right. So other just commercials, movie trailers. What was it that, I mean, because let's just face it. If you don't have a dog in the fight, to me, I'm all about the Super Bowl because it's our last day of football.
Yeah.
And this is where, God bless Ashley. The moment I put it on at like 2:00. She was like, they don't even kick off till 6:30. I was like, but this is our last day of football.
I'm taking it all in.
Right. This is our last day of football for like 6 months. Calm down.
Yeah.
And I got to watch because, they show some stuff in between and this, that, and the other. So what were some things that got you excited in terms of like, whether if it's movie trailers, commercials, what were some of your favorites?
So it's all right. It's kind of rough because, I watched it at the bar and,
you can't really hear shit at the bar.
You can't hear much. I mean, when collectively everyone's like, hey, let's watch this.
And that's the time they want to talk to you.
And that's, getting pulled behind the bar or doing something else. My favorite, the J-Lo.
The Dunkin'.
Yeah, the Dunkin' commercial with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just perfect. I mean, Matt Damon.
You got Tom Brady.
Yep.
I mean, it was like the Dunkin' Backstreet Boys.
It really was, man.
And hearing the Boston accents come out a little bit harder.
Oh, every single person that from New England, anytime.
Flathers.
Oh, yeah, Flathers. That's exactly what I was referencing. But anytime you get them around anyone, or they not even from their same area, but you're from Boston, right?
Yeah.
No, he's from New Hampshire, wherever he's from.
Right.
Yeah. It always comes out just that much thicker. You're like, you don't speak like that.
Yeah.
But that's the one that stands out. That's the one that I rewatched today. Like I wanted to get the full feel of it.
When the weather warms up, so does the real estate market. Sounds obvious, right? It's true. Spring typically means more home sales. But how will the current interest rates affect people's decisions? What about inventory? Is it high or low? And does that benefit the buyer or the seller? And how do those factors take into account a certain price point or area of the Triad? Now it's not so obvious, is it? That's why you should turn to the Ginther Group to make sense of it all. You need someone you can rely on to assess your situation, read the data and trends, and steer you in the right direction. Interest rates, inventory, even new construction. There are so many factors that impact our local market. And you should get your information from the folks right here in our backyard. Contact Blake Ginther and the Ginther Group today, 336-283-8689, or visit theginthergroup.com. Buying, selling, investing, or just learning, whatever you need, start now. And like me, you can become a Ginther Group client for life.
I respect people that promote the shit that they like. And up north, Dunkin' all the way. Like if Ben Affleck would have been like, I'm Starbucks till I die, I'd be like, you are fake. You are so fake. Like,
but
up north, we
Dunkin'
grow up
life.
Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, at that point, it was Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
now it's just Dunkin'.
They dish the donuts.
Right.
Which, I probably should do.
They're trying to catch up with Starbucks, but for true Northerners, Dunkin' is the shit.
And for people in the South, that we have Dunkin' Donuts,
right?
It's not the same. No. Like, and I mean, I hear my buddies from up north. They're like, it's night and day. I mean, I got a Dunkin' Donuts like half a mile from my house, and I mean, they were out of cups one day, and I'm like, why are you open? Why are you guys open? And I mean, and the last time I went up north, I went with, my business partners who were both, from New England, and, we stopped at, different Dunkins, and it's just like a little Disney World, it's completely different. It's like, oh, this is fantastic.
Right. All right. So we covered the Super Bowl. We covered the halftime show, everything else. Now I want to get back to, and like I said, I've known this gentleman for a long time now. He is as humble as pie, but he is crushing it.
That would be perfect if I wasn't so humble.
In the social media realm. Now, what was your first video where you were just like, damn, like I can do this? And on top of that too, give advice to a lot of people like myself, because you and I are right around the same age.
Yeah.
We're right just above 40.
Yeah.
We're not flathers. We're not 50 yet. But, at the same time, like a lot of people think there's a time limit and shit. And to me, I've always been like, you know what? That's just a number. Like literally age is nothing. It's nothing but a number. But give us your story.
I mean, also like I identify as a child. I mean, like I'm closer to mid 40s. That hurts. I'm 44, but I don't feel that.
Right.
I don't feel that I am. My body reminds me that I'm 44 when I try to do things. But I mean, I don't know. I get my joy from bringing to make people laugh.
Yes.
And that's how, that's how I've always been.
Yeah.
With TikTok, I mean, I made some really horrible videos, especially to start. I mean, it's like, I still have them saved. It's just like, I mean,
right.
These are horrible, but I also wasn't trying to do anything.
Right.
And then, I would do just a couple videos of, a lot of them were the like lip sync voiceover type things. I was never really, TikTok dances or anything like that. But
for now,
I'm working on it, man. Got some steps I'm working on. Funny, but I guess my video that really like pops off, like the first video that I ever got over 1 million views, was the simplest video. Like it was one take. And I say that because there are videos where I've spent hours.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hours working on
that not just easy.
Flop. I mean, detailed, I everything that I've learned, I've just learned from TikTok. I don't have a background in this, but I've learned how to like edit where I can be multiple characters all in one shot. And that to me is the most impressive shit, because I look at this stuff and I normally will send it off to my daughter. I was like, how can we do this? And she's like, I have no fucking idea. Dude, I mean, and it was just trial and error, but I mean, I did one video from Step Brothers. It's the scene where they're singing "Sweet Child of Mine," and it's in the car, and you were doing that in the car with all the different characters.
I
did that, and I was all the characters. And somebody was like, "Yo, man, how long did that take you?" I'm like, Monday. Like it was all day. I remember I finished it like 10:30 that night, and it was literally, I'd worked on it forever, and it flopped. And which is kind of crushing. And there's so many videos that you put a lot into, and that you're like, man, this is good quality. I mean, and of course I'm going to be biased because I'm doing it. Right. But I also have made some really, really horrible videos that I was like, what was I thinking? But the very first video that ever, got over 1 million views, I was at my mom's house. Yeah. And she has a pretty big, decent sized house. And like her living room is real open. Yeah. And I had the idea where I hold my phone in my hand, and I was like, what's the reason you drink alcohol? I'll show you mine. Right. And I paused it, and I went into the other room, and my 2 daughters were there, and my niece, which is, same age as my youngest daughter. Yeah. And I was like, hey, will y'all come in the living room and just run around the couch, which is in the center of the room? Go nuts. And I was like, just go nuts, go crazy. Yeah. And then I'm like, bet. I'm young, no cap. And they're like, yeah. And so they run in there, and then my dog, which is like 120 pound, like great shepherd, and my sister's dog, they're just going crazy. And so I started the video, and I was like, I'll show you mine. And then it's just them running in the background for a few seconds, and I stop it. And, wake up the next day, it's got 1 million plus views or whatever. And that's kind of frustrating. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's cool that I mean, to me, that's definitely one. But and one of my first favorite ones of yours is when you come home and you were like, did you do anything at all? And then it was like the RIP, and I was just lost it. That was great, man. That was somebody had sent me something similar to that, and I was like, "Oh, I can do this." Oh yeah, and I think the caption was something like, "When you get home from work, and your wife's been home." Did you do anything at all? Oh, is there no dinner? This place is a mess, honey. Did you do anything at all? Yeah. Boom, cut to a picture of me in memorial or whatever, with Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men. Yeah, singing. It was great. So Kenny, thank you so much. Seriously. Absolutely. So how can everybody find you? Like, what are your main social media outlets? Like, go ahead and give it to them. Yeah, just Google Kenny Giard. There's not a lot of Kenny Giards out there. Giard, and mainly it's Facebook Kenny Giard, YouTube Kenny Giard. And TikTok is Kenny G, old dad TikToker. I'm not excited about the name. That was back in pandemic. I love it. Yeah. But either way, Kenny Giard, just TikTok, Google will take you there. I love it until somebody else comes. So, like I said, I'm excited to have this gentleman back. He talked me into this episode today. I did not have the greatest day,
When he first came on, we did not have the greatest episode. It's literally one of those to where, like, if we ever get famous, you might have to pay some money to see this come out because there was a lot of nonsense going on.
That's all right.
But good friend, dear friend, be on the lookout for the Corner Bar show. That's all we're going to say about it.
It's going to be amazing.
That's all we're going to say about it. But yes, just please feel free to follow him. And, of course, Zero Dark Nerdy on all pop culture podcasts. And that's going to wrap it up for our latest episode of Zero Dark Nerdy, the galaxy's favorite pop culture podcast. Big thank you to our sponsors, the Believe Podcast Network, betonline.ag, Golden Ticket Cinemas, in particular, Hollywood Ale House, right here in Greensboro, North Carolina, the old Brassfield Cinemas location, and Sailfish Comics with 3 locations in NC, 1 in Concord, 1 in Winston-Salem, and 1 right here in Greensboro on Stanley Road, right across from Best Buy. As always, feel free to check out our website, popculturepodcast.com, for all your entertainment news and notes, courtesy of our good friends over at zibster.com. That is Zibster. And on behalf of everyone from Zero Dark Nerdy, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Yeah! Victory!
And anger management?
Fuck anger management.